Hello, everybody out there in pop culture land. This is Sam Maronie speaking to you from his office in St. Louis. Hey, you better all have your copy of my new book, Sam Maronie Tripping Through Pop Culture, by now. If you don't, if you're one of those bad people who doesn't have one yet, you can order it from Amazon.com, or you can order a special signed edition direct from me by going to www.trippingthroughpopculture.com, and that'll take you right to the place you need to go to get a signed copy sent right to you. But anyhow, I wanted to talk a little bit about the book. People have asked me, well, what's in it? And it has to do with fans of movies and comic books. If you like either one or both of these things, you will love this book. One of my favorite stories in here involves the Lone Ranger. Now, this took place back in the mid-70s when the Lone Ranger, or Clayton Moore, had gotten sued by the company who owned the rights to the Lone Ranger because Mr. Moore was making appearances wearing the trademark Lone Ranger domino mask. And they thought that infringed on their copyright, and they made him cease and desist. So Mr. Moore, clever marketer that he was, he found a cool pair of wraparound shades that he used instead of the mask. And you know what? It made him look a lot cooler. So in any event, the story in my book about him is that he was appearing at a nostalgia festival in Chicago with Larry Buster Crabbe, who portrayed another icon of pop culture, Flash Gordon, in the movie serials. So with these two great icons there was no way I was going to miss it. So I made the trip to Chicago and went to the convention. And back then, these celebrities were very accessible. You didn't have to wait in long lines, or, they didn't have handlers, or, it was just way more relaxed. So anyhow, I'm waiting in line to get my picture signed by Clayton Moore. And believe it or not, he was signing pictures for free. I mean, they don't use the F word like that much anymore, but they did then. So I was waiting in line, got my turn to get up to him. And there's always, whenever you meet a celebrity like that and they're signing autographs, there's always an awkward few seconds while, you're standing with them and they're signing their name or dedicating it to you. And so just to fill in the time, I asked Mr. Moore, how did you enjoy working with the great actor Roy Barcroft? Now, for those of you who don't know, Roy Barcroft was an actor who worked primarily for Republic Pictures, and he must have made about a gazillion B westerns for that famous studio. And he was always the bad guy, and believe me, no one could play a villain better than Roy Barcroft. So I thought, well, this would be a nice little nugget of conversation while he's signing my picture. So after I asked him, how did you like working with Roy Barcroft? He was signing and his hand stopped. And I could see his body tense. And I thought, ooh, boy, I said something wrong. I brought up somebody maybe he didn't like, or there was some bad blood there. But after a few seconds, I saw some tears start to trickle down those Foster Grants he was wearing. And he was crying. And I thought, oh my God, I have done it now. And people behind me in line were giving me dirty looks like, what did that idiot say to make Clayton Moore cry? And so I finally put my hand on his shoulder and I said, Mr. Moore, are you okay? And he looked up at me and said, he was my best friend. And he just started sobbing. And I'm just like standing there not knowing what to do. Finally, he composes himself, finishes signing my picture, hands it back to me, gives me a handshake, and called for the next person. So that, in a nugget, is how I made the Lone Ranger cry. And you can read this story along with many other great Hollywood stories that I have, and stories about comic book creators and encounters with them that I had. And this book is full of rare pictures you will see nowhere else. So again, order from Amazon.com, Tripping Through Pop Culture, or you can order the signed edition directly from me by going to www.trippingthroughpopculture.com. Later